A very good evening to each and every one of you today. My name is Jyoti Chauhan, and on behalf of co-presenting partner Freshworks, Platinum Partners, Unifor, Ebix Cash, Global Services, Gold Partners, Kalira, Treasurer, and Orion Pro, Phonon, FinTech Partner, ScoreMe, Data Management Partner, Denodo, Exhibit Partner, Inside Business Machines, Skilling Partner, Abhinav Institute of Technology and Management. Welcome you all to the second BFSI Innovation Confex and Awards 2024, curated by Gain Skills Business Media. Thank you very much for sparing your time and joining this confex where innovation, excellence, and collaboration converge in the dynamic world of banking, financial services, and insurance. We extend our heartfelt greetings to all esteemed attendees, industry leaders, innovators, and visionaries joining us for this prestigious event. This confex serves as a platform for insightful discussions, unparalleled networking opportunities, and recognition for trailblazing achievements within this BFSI sector. Embrace the exchange of ideas, explore the latest trends, and celebrate the brilliance shaping the future of finance and insurance together. Let us forge new connections, gain profound insights, and honor the exemplary contributions that drive this ever-evolving industry forward. Welcome, and let the BFSI Confex and Awards 2024 be a catalyst for transformative growth and boundless opportunity. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each members, partners, representatives of this vibrant community for gracing us with their presence. Your dedication and commitment towards our shared goals have been instrumental in propelling us forward in this beautiful journey. With this note, let me introduce you to our first speaker, Instant Payment, Transforming India's Digital Payment Landscape. Mr. Roopesh Chandran, Chief Operating Officer, BOB Financial Solutions Limited. Mr. Roopesh Chandran, COO at BOB Financial Solutions Limited, oversees sales, insurance, operations, and customer experience, driving operational transformation through AI, ML, and FinTech engagement. Previously, with Visa TransUnion and leading roles in Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, and ICICI Bank, Roopesh brings extensive expertise in product and marketing. Everyone, let's give it up for Mr. Roopesh Chandran. Welcome to you. Overing it to you, sir.
Thank you. Warm welcome to everyone. Am I audible at the back? Yes. Okay, wonderful. A very good morning to all of you. Yes. And welcome to the BFSI Confex 2024 on the 25th of Jan at Juhu Novotel. I thank the presenters for this conference, Gain Skills, and all the sponsors for this event. What we talk today is very relevant for everything, not just because we work in an industry, because it touches our lives, right? Now, if we just go, can I get the clicker? I just left that. If we just go back in history, right? And the topic which I have is about payments. Payments is nothing new, right? You want something, you have to give something in return, is what payments is all about. 5,000, 6,000 years ago, it started with something called as barter, right? I have grains, you have eggs, I want to buy eggs, you want grains, we used to exchange. That's how the economy started, right? A form of exchange. Obviously, goods, services, and material aspects of carrying 2 sacks of grains every time I'm buying 4 eggs is very difficult to be done. So what happened was, over a period of time, human beings, being human beings, we all are lazy, we all want ease of things. We shifted from barter to something called as a value system for it. And then we came in with the concepts of starting off with wood coins, metal coins, moved on to gold coins, silver coins, because it's easier at that time, it had a value to it, moved to paper money, and just about less than 6 decades ago, we moved to something called as plastic money. It's not that old, it's just 6 to 7 decades ago that we moved to plastic money. And today, maybe if you just look at a decade ago, is when we moved to digital money, where there is no physical aspect of money that you're carrying. Today, we can get out of our house without having to worry about our wallets. But we will get a heart attack if we don't carry our mobile. The first thing we search is, where is my mobile, right? So that is the level of change which has happened. And I'll be touching briefly about what that means in today's era. So the topic which says here is obviously a lot of mumbo jumbo of instant payments, transformation, the digital payments landscape. I'll break it into parts of it, right? I spoke about the payments part, why payments was happening, because people wanted something and you had something to give in exchange for it. So payments happened because there is a value associated for either parties to what the other party had, right? It has in the form of chickens, eggs, grains, moved to coins, moved to notes, moved to digital money. All those things are for that part of it, right? Instant was talking about that moment, right? So instant was always there. Earlier when I used to do barter, I used to take chickens from you and you used to take grains from me, it was in that instant, right? So instant was always there. Only the speed of things changed, right? Earlier the time taken to count those notes, count those chickens, count those eggs used to take time. Now it's all digital. So it happens with the form of a trust or a security aspect. So it's much faster. If you look at India's digital landscape, and I'll cover it in a subsequent slide there, we will be shocked to know that it's not very old. What we think today is transformation is actually not that very old. It's hardly 3, maximum 4 decades old. So it's all very recent. For most of us sitting in this room, anyone who is less than 4 decades on this earth? Here, just raise your hands. Anyone who is less than 4 decades on this earth? Very small minority, right? Most of us are here who are more than 4 decades on this earth. And we will see all this has happened in our lifetime. So it is unlike a Ram Mandir, which is happening after 500 years, right? It's unlike all those things. This is all which has happened in my lifetime. And I'm not that big a lifetime. I have gray hair, but I'm not that big a lifetime, right? Similarly for each one of you. So the transformation in Indian landscape is all very recent. We just need to appreciate how fast it is happening, right? It's all happening very fast nowadays. So the instant payment, what we refer to, the real-time payments, what used to happen, say 3-4 days, is now happening in 3 or 4 milliseconds. You don't even realize that a payment has happened. That's what the transformation has happened. And if you just look at the number of transactions that moves into, there is a 100% increase in digital. Now those numbers look very big because the base factor is very small. 9 years ago, if you look at maybe 2016-17, if you recall when Prime Minister suddenly started with this jam trinity, there was this entire note bandi which happened. All of us suddenly realized that the currency we all depended on suddenly is no longer a valid currency, right? Then COVID happened. These timelines actually brought in the speed that came up with this. And that's why today what we feel as intuitive, what we feel as natural was very unnatural just 4 years ago. I was coming on the road down from here, Juhu turning near Jalsa Pratiksha to the hotel here. I saw some 4 revdiwalas, or what you call the hand cart owners, who are taking the vegetables, morning vegetables and fruits to different places where they want to sell in Juhu. One ubiquitous thing on every cart was a QR code, right? 3 years ago, none of us would have seen a QR code at that level. None of us would have actually seen a QR code. 5 years ago, we would not even have thought of a digital payment. Cash was everything. But today, it's part of our life. So that's the transformation that this presentation will talk about. Just look at the history of digital payments. Like I said, it's a very brief timeline. 1980 was the time when the first credit card got launched in India. That was by Central Bank of India. Of course, there is a controversy. 2 banks claim for it. Both of them have Bank of India in their name. One is Bank of India and one is Central Bank of India. But 1980 is when the first credit card got launched. What we today think is natural for all of us is not that very old. It's well within my timeline on this earth, right? Look at ATM, 1987. And you'll be shocked, when the first ATM was launched, there was a customer, a South Indian Tam Brahmin, who wrote to RBI a complaint saying that it is inhuman to put a person inside such a small box to dispense cash. That's an actual complaint which a customer wrote, because he felt that the cashier who was sitting inside that caged, if any one of you have visited a public sector bank of that era, you would have seen cashier used to sit inside like a cage, grilled cage, and chota sa haath nikal ke wo paisa bahar deta tha. The gentleman actually felt that that person has been put inside this small box which is called as an ATM. That was the level which was understanding. If you go onto YouTube, you will see a video of Burger King, 1980s in US, when the first time customer feedback was taken, how do you feel about paying through a card at Burger King for a Whopper, right? $2, paying through a card. And you'll be shocked to know, 88% of the respondents said, we don't think this will work. Who cares to pay with a card at Burger King for buying a $2 Whopper? 1980. Today, 89% of their transactions are actually card. Just in 40 years, the entire spectrum has changed. The people who said it will never happen, why will someone take out their card to pay? Today, everyone thinks, why should I give cash? What is cash? I don't know. The cashiers actually don't know what is cash. How do you give it back? Because it's all about tap, pay, scan, and go, right? That is the transformation which has happened. Look at those timelines there. And these are very important milestones because they're not very far away. Most of us would have been in schools, in colleges. Some of us would have started our jobs when we did that. In fact, 2005, when NEFT was launched, I was sitting in my bank branch to learn as to how transfer happens to RBI, the RTGS system, so that we can introduce online payments for our customers. I was part of that, to do NEFT implementation for the bank to do that. Some of you might have been part of those things. Today, you use it ubiquitously. So this is part of our life cycle. And the entire UPI, which we all talk about today, it's not very old. It's 2016. That's it. And today, as we speak, we are talking about, and Mr. Jaishankar has just spoken about it 2 days ago, our External Affairs Minister at Nigeria, saying that what the number of transactions that US does in 3 years, number of digital transactions that US does in 3 years, India does it in 1 month, right? So we are that advanced a country now. And all this has happened in our lifetime. So the entire digital, entire transformation, entire payments enhancement has happened in this lifetime of ours. Here are some numbers, and you will see various numbers which will be there in this. There. What is important is to look at the volume that is at stake, right? 3 trillion was the value which happened in 2021, 2 years ahead. And if I look at just 2 years hence, 2026, we are looking at 10 trillion. That's the digital payments which happened. December 23, just the month which went away, we had 200 lakh crores worth of value which was transacted digitally. 200 lakh crores. 1,500 crore transactions happen digitally. And they are all transactions which each one of us are doing. This is not something which corporates do. This is not something which banks do. This is what we are contributing consciously, subconsciously, intuitively today, right? So we are part of that journey. If you look at just the numbers, how countries rank up, at that graph, what you will see is India is obviously leading. Yay, a great moment for us. But just look at summation of China plus UK plus US. Leading economies, right? We are number 4, 5 economy. You add the top 3 above us, we are doing more transactions than them today. And that is growing at the rate of 2x, 3x. Ram Mandir, all of you would have seen the television broadcast of it, which happened last Monday. The number of payments that happened to Ram Mandir Trust doubled every hour on 21st, 22nd. Just before the Pran Pratishtha, as soon as the Pran Pratishtha happened. The number of digital transactions increased 7 times every hour. That means that many transactions happening. Saryu boatsmen, the people who take you across the Saryu, that's a popular thing to do when you go to Ayodhya. There is not even a single boat which does not accept digital transactions. That's the level of transformation that has happened. And yesterday, in fact, there is this Naril Panivana whom I buy Naril Pani every day, and now I pay him through QR scanning, right? I asked him, is it difficult for you because you don't get cash? Because I believe you take cash because you have to buy this Naril the next day and all, you have to do this entire stream. A very important thing which he said was, so the money that comes through QR code, I still get cash. There are many people who pay cash. If cash comes in my hand, वो खर्च हो जाता है. It gets spent. But the money that comes through digital payments to me, directly into my account, is a saving. I don't touch it that easily. It is for my future. So I am enhancing the value for the customer, not only in terms of increasing the ecosystem payments, but also creating a value which is beyond that. So that is the power of digital payments today. It is enhancing the economy as we speak. It is enhancing and uplifting the poor up the graph, and which is very important because in India today, if you look at it, while the average salary or you say the spending capability for majority of Indians has increased since 2016. These are government stats. You can look at all PIB information. But there are 16% of India's poor who are still below what they used to get pay parity in 2016. And this transformation of UPI, of Jandhan, of biometrics, of Aadhaar is what will transform their lives, because that money will not get leaked, will not get pilfered. That's the value that India is enhancing for. Madam Sitaraman just spoke about it in Davos. You can see her speech there, that the transformation which is happening, Smriti Irani also spoke about it, in India, is that we are taking everyone along for the digital journey. It is not just the top layer or the educated, it is for everyone. And that is the story which is happening in India, which is unmatched and unreplied anywhere else in the world. Even the US is today asking for our UPI technology. Why? Because they don't have it. The most advanced country which we all think of, the highest payments, they have the maximum number of checks which happen. Check payments. India today, 62% are digital payments which are happening. Moving on, these are some statistics which are there on RBI pages, all of you can refer. Why it is important is because digital payments has various components and we don't realize it, right? You have obviously the credit transfers which happen, which could be any of the loans or any payments that you do out. You have the paper-based instruments which happen, checks. I do not know if anyone of you have, anyone from banks here? Okay. Some of you would remember checks, there used to be, you used to take those checks, go to an agency house and do exchange of checks. That was hardly a decade and a half ago, 15 years ago, right? Today, no one carries checks anywhere. It is check truncation system. You scan it and the image goes through. There is no physical transformation. So even though it's a paper-based thing for you as a consumer, for the banks it's no longer paper-based thing. It's digital, right? The debit transactions which are happening through the cards, to the savings accounts, the card payments itself which go through, and obviously the prepaid payment instrument, that's a big thing which happened. And the important part in all this is that the three parties, there are only three parties. Normally payments we say four party, but here there are only three parties. There is one consumer, customers like you and me, why do we want to play in it? Then there are PSPs, who are actually payment service providers, and they can be acquirers, issuers, there will be various names that will be used, but they all form under PSPs. And then there is a network or a scheme which is helping this to be done, whether it's Visa, Master, Rupee, there is even RBI who does that. So for banks, things like RTGS, NEFT are through RBI, right? So they are the ones who are controlling. And the regulator in India has been at the forefront of adopting it. Last year, in fact, RBI did 2 conferences with all the fintechs in India for the first time, one in Kashmir and one in Kochi, north and south of India, to get to know what is it that India needs to leapfrog into the next millennium, right? What is it 2040 goals that we have? What is it that 2030 we need to do? And there are various things that they introduced, the likes of UPI Pay 123, DigiSathi, UPI Lite, CBDC, ONDC. All these are going to transform the way that we do transactions today. And it will just be leapfrogging, because 2026 we said 3 to 10, 2030 that 10 will become 50. That's the speed of enhancement that is going to happen. And these are transactions which all of us do today, right? It is not alien, it is not someone else, it is us who are part of it. And every direction which the RBI has done, we are participating in that. As industries, we are called for it. There is discussions, deliberations, and we decide as to how we go about it. Some of them do impact negatively, but some of them are for future enhancements. And what drives today, like all of us, if you look at it, you have multiple options to pay. You have a positive word of mouth. So there is no one who says, I pay digitally and I don't know how it will work. It's intuitive. People use YouTube intuitively, they pay intuitively. UPI scan happens. Now the shopkeeper doesn't even look at the payment in his mobile. He has a device which announces it that you have paid it, right? It's positive. There is a change in behavior, there is ease, and most importantly, there is safe, secure, and assured services which are there, because technology helps us do that. Obviously, nothing stops without future gazing. So this is today. What will happen future is obviously cross-border transactions. India is not isolated. We have to do transactions out. And if you look at RBI's papers in the last 1 year, we have started doing Rupee transactions, rupee denomination transactions. So it's not just US dollars or euro based. We want to do Rupee. So Rupee, the money of India's currency, is going to be the global currency. That's something which we are looking at. The ONDC one, Web 3.0, super apps, 5G, 6G, which we are talking about, Internet of Things, IoTs, these are all going to enhance and speed up what we are looking at from today's side. And obviously, to end it, a small joke which says, in the near future, if you go to a shop and say, and the shopkeeper will say, what is this? And you have to tell, this is cash. This is what I have to pay. And he says, I don't accept cash. Beggars may say, I have a QR, I'm not going to accept cash. It's difficult for me to carry cash. That's the future, and thank you so much for taking your time today to think about it. Thank you.